This playthrough is rated M for mature.
What goes in a Mark 6 prototype item thingy? Well, let's find out today. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. In the last episode, we dealt with Blitz's little thing, got him a new cyber deck, told him to try and find his girlfriend, and hopefully he'll be a more productive member of society. Well, one of those things is true anyway. But anyway, before we go into the next job, let's get the payday from before, and another payday I actually forgot to get from a previous job, so let's see, check the jobs directory. Yeah, I forgot to claim the payment for pharma cleanup, so whoops. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few minutes later, a message pops onto the screen. Hairfucks to Blackwire. An excellent job, Blackwire. You are a credit to your profession. I will not hesitate to hire you again. Your fee will be transferred to your account immediately. Fucks. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details: 15,000 for the total, 4,000 for crew, 1,000 for ammunition, 7,500 deposited Alice, and 2,500 to ourselves. So, all right. And then let's go to the BBS to get the payday for the payday that we posted last time. Okay. Or sorry, claim payment. Wrong button. The sharing pharma AG chemical research data. So 430 minus 43, 387. Give it to us. All right. So let's see if there's any new things. Dragonkip banking woes. Looks like there's been a good old-fashioned banking heist in Dragonkip, one of those old defunded banks still had some funds in it. Apparently whoever was responsible waltzed right in and transferred away a whole load of Nuyen. That's not all. A pal of mine had been contracted to do some work for one of the other lending establishments in the area. When he went in to meet with his contact, all they found was a couple of shell casings and a troll-sized pool of blood. That's probably Hazenkamp took that one. Did that. Huh, and I always assumed that banking was a boring job. Sounds pretty action-packed to me. You've got a break-in, a big score, what looks like a revenge killing, all of that, plus a steady paycheck. What more you could want? If you need me, I'll be putting in my application at the nearest savings and loans. But anyway, yep, that's it for that, so. Alright, we don't have anything else to pay for, so let's head on to the next location. And we got quite a bit of money. I will spend it, but I don't need to so much, just because my guy's pretty straightforward. Just buy some drones, and there you go, or some decking equipment. Which this next job only requires the decking skill, doesn't actually require matrix work. So I won't have to bring a decking thing. I can actually bring multiple drones if I'm worried about that. So which would be nice to not have to worry about equipping the decking thing. So anyway, let's head board the train to our next destination. So we want to head to AG Chemi Europe facility to extract the MK6 prototype. Alright, and like before, let's just take our companions. No Blitz, we didn't want to take you. No Blitz is a bad Blitz. But anyway, yeah, all the same people here. So it's not like the previous game where you had like a ton of options. But the thing is, most people tended to choose the same type of people every time. And the fact that in this game they give you a bunch of companions to choose from, so they reduce the amount of characters you can choose from. I think that's better than giving us a ton of people we may never use. So, alright, well anyway, let's confirm. And head on out. It's time to do this thing! Room 1-1, let's go! No, wait, that's not those. MK6. Monolithic plastic sterile. The Berlin office of AG Chemi Europa is all of these things and more. The worst qualities of modern corporate culture, all mixed into a toxic stew and sluiced into a single prefab office building. Thankfully, you shouldn't have to stay long. According to the intel that your client provided, this should be a simple smash and grab operation, and you've been given the tools to carry it out with a minimum of fuss. The MK6 prototype, whatever it is waiting for you on the 25th floor. It's time to go and get it. Alright, let's do that. So let's remove the Kraftwerk from our thing, and yeah, let's just put that Doberman. Yeah, it's not going to be as useful, but hey, it's something else. I mean, yeah, I could put another, probably no reason to really put grenades in my thing now that I think about it, because I'll never have, let's see, I could put a trauma kit just in case something happens, but I'll never have enough AP to really throw a grenade anyway, so might end up selling them or letting one of my allies use them at some point, but anyway. I will mess with Karma later, because AG Chemi Europa, Satellite Administrative Complex, after hours. The thing is, like, you can use karma whenever you want. So there's really not a, there's not like a, you have to use it now or you can't activate it during the mission. You know, that type of thing. It's a weird thing. It's like, well, I mean, I know why the game's telling you that. It's to remind you that you've got it. So you're like, oh, don't forget. You know, you don't have your maximum potential. You know, that type of thing. But I always like having a little extra karma available just in case if I want to buy more charisma. But at this point, I don't really need to. So. Yeah, let's check the shipping crate. These crates have been sealed. The only visible markings are Project Atlas. Medical supplies in here. Alright, let's just send that to the stash. And let's open the door and check with these maintenance controls. After a few moments of sifting through cables, you find a diagnostic connector with the right input to fit the little black box that Herr Schmidt gave you. Put in the little black box. The connector slips into the box with a satisfying click. A tiny red light set into the box's lid begins flashing. After a few seconds, it turns solid yellow, and then finally shifts to green. At that instant, all the lights in the garage turn off. A few seconds later, the emergency lighting kicks in. If what Schmidt told you was true, you've just killed the main power for most of the building. In theory, the box also has circumvented the security cameras on the building's upper floors. You should be able to intercept the camera feeds by tapping into an elevator console on the 24th floor. Handy little thing. Alright, team, let's go. Alright, we did it. So let's go this way. To the Vaders. I mean, the elevators. So. Without warning, your comlink screen bursts into static. You hear a telltale series of clicks. Someone who established an audio connection to your comlink. A moment later, a deep, sonorous voice speaks into your ear. You recognize it instantly. Your lodge contact, Luke Adair. Blackwater, do not speak, just listen. I have a proposition for you. I understand that your team is currently en route to retrieve a package, the MK6 prototype, if I'm not mistaken. My associate and I are interested to acquire the MK6 for our own studies. We would like you to deliver the device to us. Once you've acquired the MK6, you will proceed back to the garage as planned. There you will find a transport parked beside your client's van. Load the MK6 into the transport and you'll be rewarded. Herr Schmidt will also be dealt with to protect you from reprisal. To accept our offer, simply proceed as instructed and return the prototype to us. Please note that we will need the Mark 6 in undamaged condition. It is not in full working order. It is useless to us. As you know, our organization takes good care of its friends, so it would be to your advantage to help us. Good day. The line goes dead with a click. A moment later, the sound of your teammates' calm chatter floods back into your ear. Say nothing. Alright, and we get a new objective. Optional, send the Mark 6 to the lodge. Iger indicates a console built in the wall beside the elevator. This looks like the elevator console. The camera feeds should have been routed here. It only takes a moment to connect your PDA and immediately visual feeds from all the building begin to flood in. Yeah, definitely a handy little toy. Now I really want one. Alright, let's take a look at this decent sized place. As you can see here, oh boy. Alright, let's just kind of go as is and let's check things out. So, yep, hold on. Check this thing. Warning, toxic gas detected. Laboratory lockdown engaged. Laboratory entrance. Okay. So this area is unavailable for the hot minute. Laboratory observation. So we want to get in there at some point. Let's see what this console says. A warning light strobes out from the console at your approach. Large white letters shriek out against a red background or backdrop. Warning, toxic contaminant detected. COC2 phosgene gas. Hazardous material. Override engaged. Laboratory entrances locked down. Input command. Now, if you have, obviously, biotech, you can search for your memory about the COC12. You can also purge the air. There's a lot of things you can do for it. If you have decking, you could just if you have decking 5, you can basically just bypass a lot of this stuff. Biotech 4 helps you remember what it is, and you can also type, you can also disengage the lockdown by typing in a very specific keyword. I think it's ammonia, I believe. Let's see. I have to look it up now just to show it off. Yeah, ammonia is what you have to type in for that. So let's see what. Search your memory for any information about COC12 if you have biotech. COC12, or phosgene, is a valuable pharmaceutical component in its gaseous form and is both colorless and odorless. What is it, iocane powder or whatever? Don't get in a land war with Asia when death is on the line or something like that. And it's extremely toxic. It can be neutralized with the introduction of gaseous ammonia. So that's how you know to type in ammonia into the system. There's also another place on the map that you can also get this information from. So it's not like you can't figure it out some other way. So and then we can purge the air just by decking it. So I'm just going to do that. So warning: this action will result in venting of contaminants to exterior atmosphere. Level 5 authorization required. So yeah, you can do that. You can disengage the lockdown, or try to anyway. Toxic contaminant detected. Cannot disengage lockdown while contaminants are present. And then we could access the substance library. Connection failed. Network access unavailable. Use direct access terminal in the data store, which there is a place somewhere to use that. So, and then introduce gaseous agents to laboratory atmosphere, which is where we can put ammonia, because we just were told that via our biotech ability. So, introduce ammonia gas to the laboratory atmosphere, and we gain 2 karma for doing that. So, okay, now we can disengage the lockdown. No contaminants detected. Disengaging the lockdown. So we get a karma for doing that. So now we can just go straight on in. So but like I said, we can check other spots in this place to get this info too. So let's check this body. The scientist lays dead beside a small pile of smashed glass, and a number of beakers have been knocked over at the nearby table. Now let's pick up some stuff while we're in here. Alright, got some jazz. Send that to the stash. More medical supplies. The advanced kit 2. Send that to the stash. Let's see, there's a note here. On the counter is a note, carefully transcribed in neat handwriting. The paper bears the letterhead of Senior Executive Lennart Stromberg. I'm still waiting for that report. When I said ASAP, I meant I need it yesterday. Stay until you've completed the test. Then leave the report on my desk. The door code is 54139. Do this tonight. I'll expect to see it waiting for me when I arrive tomorrow. Stromberg. So now we got a code in our inventory. 54139, so remember that for later. Let's check this terminal here. This computer is powered on, but in sleep mode. When the computer comes to life, you find a half-written text file on the screen. The timestamp on the most recent edit tells you it was written just a few minutes ago. I didn't sleep last night. Doesn't look like I'm going to sleep tonight either. The last test batch failed. My fault. I got the mixture wrong. Sloppy work, Jensen. Is that a reference to Deus Ex? Maybe. I can barely keep my eyes open. Gotta try again, though. No excuses in this office. I despise relying on stimulants, but I've got no choice. Gotta keep going. Progress marches on. Starting a new batch. If Hushoffer's pet isn't ready to be tested tomorrow, well, best not to think about that. Gotta concentrate. Remember, lab safety. Keep alert. Keep awake. One wrong move, you could spell disaster. Yeah, that was that guy right there. Glancing at the menu, it looks like there are log entries reaching back for 2 weeks. All the entries are attributed to the same author, and none of them appear to be password protected. Read the entry data 2 weeks ago. The new formula arrived today. Formula 17. I swear whoever names these things must have no imagination at all. Formula 17? Honestly. Still, I can't wait to start working with it. From what I've read, early clinical trials were promising in the extreme. Amazingly potent, this stuff, and increasing potency means less frequent injections and a lower dosage. There's nothing not to like. Despite my enthusiasm, there's still much to be done. Speeding up absorption rates is first on the list, and I have some concerns regarding the subject's immune reactions. Perhaps the formula can be tailored on a patient-by-patient basis. Read the data entry last week. Tailoring doses to individual patients has worked wonders. The key was taking a gene therapy-based approach. They've been using it in medicine for ages, so why not apply the same logic here? So in a nutshell, I've used the subject's own DNA to delude their immune systems into believing that Formula 17 belongs in their body. Simple and effective. This approach has helped to increase the formula's absorption rate, while significantly reducing incidences of rejection. Unfortunately, it also rules out an easily mass-produced product, but I am convinced that the results will justify the additional cost. Read yesterday's entry. A week! He waits an entire week before telling me that tailoring the mixture is an unacceptable solution. And then he tells me that the trials are begin tomorrow. I have no time. And Geisbrecht's applying too much pressure that I can barely think. Bastard. Hoschoffer is probably threatening him. All of them can rot. Maybe now that Hoschoffer playing heat the sheets with Geisbrecht's secretary, he'll learn to lighten up. We can only hope. Anyway, I have some new ideas to move forward with the formula. Admittedly, they're far-fetched, possibly even dangerous, but if I don't start producing some results, I get the feeling that it won't be my problem for much longer. Wish me luck, journal. It's science time. Reread the entry that was written today. Oh yeah, that's the one about disaster. Okay, anyway. Sorry, read that by accident. Okay, so, main thing there was, other than the info, was that little entry, so... Yeah, we can do the elevator controls, but let's take a look around before we continue on. So, let's see what this sign says. Data store records. Okay. There, I got a records terminal. And let's see what else is. Is that it for this place? Okay. Take a look in here. Digital archive terminal. Welcome to the AGC data library, an archive and employee research system. Enter search terms to begin. Search the archive. So if you want to actually use this for something, just type in COC12. I don't think I have to cap it. But anyway, this is how you're supposed to learn about, if you don't have biotech, for example, this is another way to learn the code. COC12, commonly known as phosgene gas, a highly toxic, colorless gas that gained infamy for its use as a chemical weapon during the First World War. It is also valued as an industrial reagent and as a building block for which pharmaceuticals and other organic compounds can be synthesized. In low concentrations, its odor is reminiscent of freshly cut grass. The odor detection threshold for phosgene is 0.4 ppm, 4 times its threshold limit value. Phosgene-related deaths are generally caused by the interaction of the gas and the proteins of the pulmonary alveoli. The end results of this interaction is the destruction of the blood-air barrier, preventing the transmission of oxygen to the blood. Death by suffocation inevitably follows. It is highly recommended that any employee working in or around this gas wears a detector badge. A suitable supply of NaHCO3, sodium biocarbonate, for liquid phosgene, and NH3, ammonia for gaseous phosgene, must be kept on hand to neutralize spills and leakages. Okay, and that's pretty much how you figure that out. So, I don't know if there's any other things to look up, but that's pretty much the big one. So let's check all these rooms. Building maintenance. Okay. Inside we go. Let's grab some more items. All right. And there's a basic medkit 1. So. Yeah, sometimes you almost don't need to buy, depending on how your things go, you might, Junior Executive Werner Hardegger, whatever. If you know what you're doing, you could probably go through the whole game without having to buy medical kits. You could probably get them all for free. So, anyway, let's check the bar. So, this one has an interesting thing. So, if you have the socialite etiquette, you can examine the bottles and get the best bottle, and what that means is you can go to Altug and sell the bottle for a little extra nuyen. It's not anything crazy amount, but something to consider if you have the etiquette socialite, or if you want to buy enough charisma to get it, you can, but I'm not going to mess with it. So on the bar, a number of bottles of alcohol. Most of them look expensive. Grab a bottle for the road. So now we get the a cheap booze that we can sell later to Altug for some extra nuyen. Not a ton, but at first glance, this terminal appears unremarkable. It's password locked, and a cheerful screensaver marches across its display. Swipe the terminal. Upon closer inspection, you notice something interspersed among the colorful bouncing sprites of the screensaver. There's a symbol that you recognize, the dead drop marker of the Schockwellenreiter. As you study the display, a green light winks on above the terminal display, the recording light of a pinhole camera. The screensaver disappears, and the screen floods with glowing green light. Schockwellenreiter, contributor number 1432, recognized. Welcome, Blackwire. RE, secret projects. This is an open request for information about the projects and material prototypes being developed at this facility. It is known that a synthetic drug is being developed here in support of a project called Atlas. In addition, a functional prototype called MK6 has been developed. The first contributor to provide us with the project data for Atlas, the chemical formula for this new drug, and visual records for the MK6 in operation will be handsomely rewarded. All 3 pieces of information are required for a payout. AG Chemi Europa is known to be a heartless corporation with little regard for metahuman safety and morality. They guard their secrets jealously and seek to hoard all information gained for themselves. This behavior cannot be allowed to go unpunished. What they know, all they shall know. No longer will they hide their secrets in the shadows. The timely delivery of this information will be well rewarded. Freedom, equality, information. Shockwell and Ryder. Yeah, so we need to find this information. Alright. Yeah, visual records, project data, and drug formula. We can do that. And then we just got 3 of the data files. So, interesting enough, this is one of the few doors that requires the spellcasting conjuration to figure out what the keypad space is, but we already know the number for this one. So it is 54139. But if you have the conjuration ability, you can look at the keypad and notice where the button presses are. So, Senior Executive Lennart Stromberg, Secretary Annika, what does it say again? Annika Schroeder. Alright. A stack of business cards on this desk reveals that it belongs to one Annika Schroeder. A cursory search reveals that the desk drawers are stuffed full of lewd love notes and all hastily written on scraps of office stationery. Ooh la la. Rummage through the notes. Exploring Annika's desk is like embarking on an odyssey of filth. 30 seconds in, you've already learned 3 new euphemisms for sex in a storage closet, as well as exciting new definitions for a variety of common office terms. Thankfully, your search also turns up something more immediate value, a scrap of paper with a name and a 5-digit code scribbled on it. Haschoffer, 847921. Alright, so we got a code for something else too, so let's check this desk here. On the desk is the file folder labeled Project Atlas. Open it. The folder is empty except for a single note. Moved to digital archive, locked under the executive authorization. Alright. Alright, we just need to find out more about Project Atlas. So, let me go back here again. I believe I have to go back here for that, so. Okay, Atlas. So on this one, if we want to find out Atlas, we have to type in Atlas, and then you can either put it in the code, which I believe is the the 84792, or if you have decking 5, you can just bypass the codes specifically. So authorization accepted. Welcome, Herr Stromberg. Mark 6 prototype data stored under Project Atlas heading. Redirecting inquiry, Project Atlas. Volumes of information begin to flit across the screen. A good half of what you're seeing has been redacted, and the rest is written in impossibly dense corpse speak. Download the project data to PDA for Shockwell and Ryder. You copy the information on the screen, redactions and all. Access visual records. VP level authorization required. Do you wish to proceed? Continue. And once again, you can either type in the code, or you can bypass it with decking 6, which I'm just going to do that here. Authorization accepted. Welcome, Herr Haschoffer. There are too many records here. So basically, to do the first one, sorry, I think I mixed up the numbers here. So if you want to do the first one, you need to do this one first, and then this one, if I recall. But anyway, sorry. I'm getting certain things out of order, so. There are too many records here to sort through quickly. A quick scan reveals the following details. Records of laboratory experiments on metahumans, images of an extensive series of cyber surgeries being performed upon a large troll, or records of that same troll carving his way through opponents with a massive axe, and gun cam footage from what appears to be a vehicle-mounted chain gun. The weapon has been photographed tearing apart a variety of targets, both artificial and organic. Copy the visual record for the Shockwell and Ryder. You copy the records into your PDA. The computer returns you to the menu screen. Alright. Since we don't have anything else, we'll come back later if we need anything else here. Alright. Let's see. Oh, let's go in this way. And yes, you did see some people there. You actually don't have to go into that room, but there is stuff in there, so you might as well do it anyway. Unless you don't want to take any damage, which is fair. But we're going to do it anyway, so. Perhaps I should get in a decent position before I do that, so. There, what does it say here? Security room. Okay. Just gotta sneak over there and open the door so I'm not in the way. Intruders! Intruders are engaging! Why'd you run out there? What are you doing? Okay, anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and control mode. So let's do the links. Let's see. Do I want to do both? I could do both. Or do I want to mark that guy and help with them? Well, they are all right there, so yeah, let's go ahead and control mode both of them. Yeah, you can actually, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you can do multiple drones at once. You have to have the ability to, but you can, so yeah, that's double your fun. Okay, so Dietrich, ooh, you're in the way, huh? Or you're out in the open. So I was gonna haste Iger, but let me go right here and then aim. Whoops, I meant to aim on her, but apparently I didn't highlight her. I highlighted myself. Yeah, that's the one thing I hate about some of the highlighting mechanics. Sometimes it's hard to get the people I want on here, so oh well. Let's take care of this guy. I missed with the 91% on one of those bullets. I really, at this point, I shouldn't just question that. I should just accept that's just how it is, you know what I mean? Let's see. Okay, this one's the... Let me move you here just to see if I can hit you. Wait, why did... Ah, whatever. I meant to hit him, but it moved him over there instead for some reason, so... Alright, Iger. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I could do some AP damage. Oh, we did enough damage to just knock him out. Yeah, come on outside. The water's fine. Okay. Let's try getting the Doberman. Yeah, by doing 2 drones, I basically can't do anything. So you be aware you're probably going to be... I might just need to get a better drone because this thing is just not hitting. Look at that. I mean, it's 40%, so that's not bugging. That doesn't annoy me as much because, you know, but still. There we go. Yeah, might as well run in there. Alright, Dietrich. Based on Iger. And then, yeah, I guess we can blast this guy out in the open. Let's shotgun these guys. You're all just gonna run outside, aren't you? That's fine. How do I keep missing 91% hits? Let's see. Let me try to see if I can get you hit something. 50%. I was about to say 50%. You know, I'd be lucky if I did hit any of those. So. Ellie's a bit Tonka tough now, isn't she? Ah, so close. Oh well. That only did what? That only did 1 damage or something like that. There we go. Yeah, when I get multiple better drones, it'll be a lot more heinous to have 2 drones because basically getting true drones basically means an extra player for all intents and purposes. So, but anyway, if we go in here, we get a Mossberg CMDT SmartLink shotgun, so we can send it to a stash, sell that later. I think that sells for like a couple hundred new yen. So, all right. I think let me remember if there's anything else I need to do before I head out. I think I've done everything, so let's go to the elevator. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just making sure I got all my notes here, so let's see. Okay, there is one more. I missed it in the notes, so sorry about that. So let me go back this way. There's another thing I need to look up in the records terminal, so I thought there was something I was missing. Okay, so let's type in Formula 17. Oops. Formula 17. Oh, did I not? Do I keep pressing the wrong button? Hold on, let me try it again. Formula 17. Maybe I do actually need to put a space on that. There we go. Alright, and then this one, I believe that's that 541 whatever, but I'm going to use the decking 5 to skip it. A complex chemical formula displays on screen along with a series of notes. Formula 17 appears to be a drug designed to suppress higher brain functions, and specifically those functions related to emotional responses and decision-making skills. From what you can tell, the overall purpose of the drugs is to render a subject submissive and pliant. The notes go on to suggest the Formula 17 was developed as a component of a larger project called Atlas. Apparently, Project Atlas has something to do with cybernetic augmentation. Formula 17 was developed to help reduce the incidence of rejection in Project Atlas test subjects. Recent trials of the formula have been extremely encouraging. While initially a serious concern, fatalities have recently dropped off to a statistically insignificant level. The document is accompanied by a fairly extensive record of testing performed on metahuman subjects along with death records over the course of the project. The shotgun writer will be interested in all this information. According to their charter, sharing this information with the world would be top priority. In the wrong hands, however, this formula could cause immense harm. Let's do it anyway. Copy the formula. The shotgun writer will be interested in all this information. According to their charter, sharing the information will be top priority. And we got all 3 data information, so we've completed their little side project. In the wrong hands, however, this formula could cause immense harm. But yeah. Alright, let's see. We already did Project Atlas, Formula 17. Let's see. I already did the COC 17. Did that. Okay, now we can leave. Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes that's why sometimes I'll write brief notes about what I want to do in a place before I leave, just to make sure I don't forget anything, which I still do anyway. But all right, authorizations required for access to enter the access elevator. If you have spellcasting conjuration, you can get the number from that, but we can just enter the passcode on that one. So okay, I think it's 84792 on this one. Yeah, access granted 425. All right, let's go. Level 25. 25. The elevator whisks you upward towards the executive level 25 floor. As expected, the run has been relatively smooth sailing so far. A chime breaks the silence as the elevator glides to a stop. The MK6 is somewhere on this floor. All that you have to do is find it. Well, that's all I have to do, huh? Easy peasy, Gary cheesy. Alright. Looks very nice. Very comely. The emergency light winks out, leaving you in darkness. A moment later, the building lights flip on, cranked up all the way to full illumination. The light is uncomfortably bright. A quick check of your comlink shows that your security feed has been terminated. Instead of a command view of the 24th floor, you find yourself staring at a blank screen. Well, that can't be good. No crap, Dietrich. But anyway. Ooh, we got a summon spot there for Dietrich, or for yourself if you're a summoner. I'd almost bring Dietrich even if I was a summoner, just because, you know. The door slides open with a pneumatic. I don't know why it's wrong with me today. Man, reading stuff wrong. Pneumatic hiss. An enormous figure fills your vision. It stands motionless by a console in the corner of this room. Ugh. Almost every inch of the thing is covered in a dull steel and gleaming chrome. Its mechanical arms end in articulated hands that would look out of place on an industrial machine. Bulky, cumbersome things designed for crushing power rather than finesse. Clutched in one of these crushing hands, a chain gun glints with sinister purpose. That shouldn't be possible. Nothing can be imported with that much chrome and live. Yeah, Dietrich shakes his head. Yeah, this isn't right. Well, whatever it is, isn't moving. I think that it's on standby. The lights are on, but nobody's home. The figure stands completely still, but its eyeless head fidgets in agitation. Something about it reminds you of a snake tasting the air. Off to one side, the screen of a control console glows gleefully in the gloom. So what is this thing, anyway? Wait, didn't they say that something about the project having to do with metahumans and all this other stuff? Is this who I think it is? Well, let's find out. Mark 7 Cyber Zombie Prototype Control Console. Yep. This is the Mark 6 prototype. It's not like a robot, it's an actual living being, but he's almost basically a robot in all intents and purposes. Activate the console. The Mark 6 prototype is an exclusive property of AG Chemi Europa. Unauthorized access is prohibited. To put the prototype into demonstration mode, you may activate its systems from the following menu. Alternatively, the system can be directly piloted via remote control rig. Press any key to enter. Input command. Have Glory examine the cyber zombie's augmentations. Glory nods and steps forward. As she stands next to the cyber zombie, you can't help but notice how much chrome riddles her own body. And the reason she can do this, because other than whatever her story, but she's technically the medic. The cyberware high-grade quality stuff, but not mil-spec. The arms look industrial in design. Interesting choice, but there's nothing wrong with it. Huh, the control system looks interesting, like a drone control interface, but it's wired into the base of the skull. From the positioning, I'd say that it's connected directly to the thing's brainstem. Glory takes a closer look at the cyber zombie's control module. A moment later, she takes a sudden half-step back. She turns to look at you, a disgusted look on her face. Blackfire, listen to me. We have to kill this thing. This thing is our payday, Glory. Explain yourself. This Joel, it's still conscious. He's still conscious. They've outfitted him with an inhibitor chip. He's trapped in his own body, screaming to get out. Well, that's horrific. This isn't just a prototype, Blackwire. It's a person. We can't just cash him in for a paycheck. Oh, can you do anything about it? Help him in some way? She takes a look at the control module, scowling. No promises, but I could try. Sure, you can try. Not here. Let's get him down to the garage force. I want to have the van close by in case anything goes wrong. In the meantime, we're going to have to activate him. She falls back to her regular position in the group. Just remember, Blackwire, that's a man you're giving orders to, not a machine. Input command. Access the system's README file. The Mark 6 prototype demonstration module. The Mark 6 prototype incorporates top-of-the-line cyberware from all AG Chemi Europa's subsidiaries, including the Zeiss Dead Sight Laser Designator, BUT Heavy Industries, Powerlift Industrial Cyberarms, and the brand new Zeiss Sense Shells Cyber Skull. Where necessary, competitors' products have been incorporated into the platform, Ares dermal plating, universal Omnitech move-by-wire, etc. These systems should be considered placeholders for this proof-of-concept prototype. The biological components of the Mark 6 was selected for size and durability by General Genetics worldwide. All autonomous functions necessary to maintain the biological components are original to the component itself and should self-regulate within operational limits. As a proof-of-concept demonstration module, the Mark 6 was designed for remote operation. A Zeiss eye-in-the-sky drone control system has been incorporated into the Mark 6 Cyberskull. Commonly control is also possible for casual control, but for product demonstration purposes, use of the drone control system is advised. Armaments. The Mark 6 prototype comes equipped with an Ares Vanquisher vehicle rotary cannon to demonstrate the Mark 6 actuated strength and recoil suppression capabilities. The module is also equipped with a Global Polymers monofilament axe. For demonstration purposes, this weapon has been designed with heft well beyond the lifting capacity of any unaugmented metahuman. The Mark 6, of course, can swing it with ease. Long-term goals. In a demonstration, the Mark 6 combat capabilities is this office's hope that the AG Chemi Europa's newly developed Formula 17 cybermanic region will prove its value to the board of directors, both as an astonishing technical achievement and as a lucrative new venue stream for the company. Albert Hoschoffer, Senior VP, Berlin Facility. So yeah, this thing's kind of messed up when you think about it. So if we want to just use it as is, we can just, obviously, if you're not a decker or don't have drone control, which if you have Blitz with you, you can actually use him to control this guy as well, which would be highly suggested, because if you just slave the cyber zombie to our comlink, he'll be part of the party, quote unquote, but he only gets 3 AP to use. But if you actually use drone control on him, you actually get 4 AP out of him, so he becomes a much more useful asset for the mission. So that's why it's highly suggested to have a decker with you, or someone with drone control of some sort, whether it be you or Blitz, or you hire someone to do it if you don't want to take Blitz. Take a closer look at the cyber zombies control systems. This cyber zombies control system is very similar to a standard albeit high-end drone rigging interface. It looks as though it should be a fairly simple task to rig into it. It will still drive itself, however your drone control rig should allow it to react to your commands much faster. Rig into the cyber zombie. Your consciousness slips into the MK6 as easily as it would any other drone, but the sensation is strange. You flex your fingers and the cyber zombie responds, but it responds too quickly, too eagerly. It almost seems to intuit your commands before you finish giving them. You feel a strange tickling sensation in your spine, coupled with a gnawing sense of unease. The Mark 6 stands at the ready, its crushing hands flexing in anticipation. Slave to your command. Input command. Activate the cyber zombie and step away from the console. With the mental command, you activate the MK6. It takes a step forward, and you can hear the whir of actuators calibrated to adjust to its weight. A few seconds later, the whirring sound dies down. It relaxes into a slight crouch. Activation complete. Follow and protect protocol engaged. Awaiting further instructions. So now we've got the prototype ready to go. What are its capabilities? Does the README file really go into all the details? And what will we do with this guy when we've escaped this place? Find out next time in the next episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.